Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am Alice, also known here as the Ugly Duckling. So as you probably already know, I am trying to curate my wardrobe anymore. So I wouldn't say that I'm minimizing it because I'm not a minimalist and I will probably never be, but I am really trying to only buy things that are really necessary and that I really love, and to cut out any kind of non-necessary purchase and to make the most out of my already existing wardrobe. So in doing that, I realized that there are some things that I just naturally stopped buying and or start using other items instead. So I thought that it could have been interesting to share my experience with you, and to open a sort of dialogue about this, because what I'm saying might be interesting for you, but at the same time, if you have any suggestion, advice, anything to add, that would be very interesting for me. So I hope to open a dialogue here. And without further ado, let's get started. So the first items is very personal, but it's also something that for me it's very important, and I really need to remind this to me every time, and is to really stop buying any type of occasional dress. Now, I'm not really a dress wearer, but I do love dresses, and especially elegant dresses. So every time I had an important occasion, I would have gone out, I bought a new dress. The problem with that is that there are only that many occasional situations. I'm not a person that has a lot of events, especially not a lot of fancy events. So I ended up having a lot of very elegant dresses that I never have the occasion to use. And that's really pointless. So I really imposed on myself to stop buying dresses. What I'm trying to do instead is trying to mix and match what I already have in my wardrobe, and maybe investing in some key occasional pieces, like a nice pair of pumps, or I don't know, a nice top, something like this. But these are all things that I can mix and match and also integrate in my normal daily wear. So it's a much better use for my money, and in this way I can also really maximize the use of my wardrobe. And the second item is beachwear. Now, I used to have quite a lot of bikinis. To be fair to me, I also used to live close to the sea, so I was spending a lot of time on the beach, and having like a frequent change could have actually made sense. The problem is that now I am living in Belgium, which is quite cold, in which the summer are actually very short. So it's not that I have that many occasions to go to the beach, and there's really no point for me to buy new beachwear. And then I realized that when last time I bought a bikini was actually here, and I love it, no problem with it. The problem is that I realized since I bought it, I've used it twice. It doesn't make sense, and it doesn't add anything. Like those two times I could have easily used other bikinis that I already had in my wardrobe. I didn't need a new one. So I literally stopped buying any more bikini because it doesn't make any sense for me. And the next are actually three items, but more or less in the general category. So in general, I really stop caring about what I am wearing at home. I used to love like a very cozy and lovely pajama, loungewear, and so on. But that doesn't, I realize that that doesn't really make any sense, because at the end of the day I am the only person seeing them, and it's not that I use a ton of pajamas and so on, so there's really no point in buying them. But I have started to switch to different substitutes. So first of all, I stopped buying vests. Now I realize that that might be a very Italian thing, because I don't know if abroad there is this huge obsession for vests that we have in Italy, but for us it's like inconceivable not wearing a vest for winter, and that didn't change. I still always wearing a vest for winter. It's just that instead of like buying a new vest every winter, I just started using my old t-shirt. Now I do actually have a huge pile of graphic t-shirt, because once I use them all the time, and to be fair to them, they held very well, because I have the same t-shirt since I was 13, 14, quite short. I never grew up, so I continue to use them. but now I can't use them anymore, not on a daily basis at least, because they're not really like appropriate for an office environment. So I stopped using them as a normal t-shirt, and I actually start wearing them under my jumper, because they actually help preserving my jumper, because I don't sweat directly on the jumper, and that's actually very good, and they serve the same scope of a vest. So I basically started to upcycle my own wardrobe instead of introducing new things, and that for me is just a perfect solution. And on a similar wave, I also stopped buying pajamas, and that's because I love pajamas actually. I know that might sound strange, but I always had these things that I really, really love pajamas, and the funniest the better. But there's not really point. It's not that you use that many pajamas, and I found out that at the end I don't really need them. I still have the trousers of my old pajamas, because at least in my experience, the trousers resist much better than the upper part of the pajama. So I kept all the trousers, and I started using them with either my old and bigger t-shirts. For vest I use the more fitted one, because so that you can't see them. But for sleeping I prefer to be more comfortable, so I use the bigger one, or my boyfriend bar my brother old t-shirts, and that for me works perfectly. And I never bought a new pajama since I realized that I could use my old t-shirts. And again, I upcycled my old clothes, and I stopped buying new ones. It's great in terms of sustainability and your own financial, so that's great. And a little bit same line, but a little bit different reasoning is for loungewear. Now, I do see the point in investing a little bit in loungewear. It doesn't need to be expensive, but what I mean is that everyone maybe has a situation in which you are at home, you want to be comfortable, but maybe you have someone coming in or whatever, and you don't really want to be, in pajama all the time, or in raggedy clothes or whatever. So still to have a sort of, dignity. So I understand buying some pieces, but basically I unintentionally created a sort of loungewear capsule that for me works perfectly. So I have my 3 or 4 pieces that I wear all the time, and they work perfectly as loungewear, and I'm simply not adding any new pieces until those are totally worn out, and that for me works. Maybe I could do a video about my capsule loungewear, because it's something I'm very proud of. And if you're interested, let me know. That could be interesting. But yeah, for now, I don't. It's a little bit the same logic of the occasional wear. I created my own small capsule for this kind of occasion, and that's all I need. And I'm not adding new things. And that's actually it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know if you have any suggestion, and please consider giving this video a thumbs up, and see you next time. Bye.